Hey, what's going on, guys? Brian here, Brian's Lawn Maintenance. We're hanging out with Naylor, Taliaferro, LCR Media. How you doing, brother?
Good, man.
Ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, for sure. What's up, guys?
We're gonna do this one take. So we're down here at the 2022 Green Industry Hype House, brought to you by the Hardscape Academy and LAWNTREPRENEUR Academy. We're creating a bunch of fun content while we're down here, enjoying a beautiful week in Tampa, Florida at the Hype House. Trying to create some content to help you guys grow. All right, I got all these guys on the chopping block. We're doing this rapid fire. Naylor, I got two simple questions, okay? Number one, a lot of guys are getting started in business, okay? They're about to make the leap, make the jump, or start their own lawn care company. What's one thing you did right coming out of the gate for your lawn and landscaping business? And then what's one thing that maybe is like a glaring mistake or failure or crash and burn story that you wish you would have done different if you were able to go back and do it all over again?
Yeah. I would say the biggest thing that I did right out the gate is plan. Just 100% make sure that you're planning. You can never have it perfect, right? And you're gonna have to adjust and pivot, but just have some sort of a plan. Like when I transitioned from my retail management career into lawn care, full-time anyway, I had 1 year of part-time lawn care, and then I transitioned into full-time. The boat wasn't even close to the dock. It was coming close to the dock.
Sure.
And I just like leapt right in there because I was like having like a nervous breakdown in my other career, and my boss gave me like an ultimatum, like it's either your family or work, and this epic. Yeah, he came in my office and he looked at the pictures on the wall in my office, and you have a beautiful family, but you're gonna have to choose between them or here because you can't do both. Yeah, that's
exciting.
In my head, I'm like, did this even come out of his mouth? Like,
nothing says company man like that.
Yeah, that's an HR issue if I haven't heard of one. I'm like, wow. So that kind of really started the catalyst of me really needing to get out of there. Like I was really like about to like lose it. So shortly after, this was right around the holidays. So shortly after that, I put in my 2 weeks, and then I and then like a week into it, they were like, you're good. We're done.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I couldn't use all my vacation time that I accumulate, so they pay you out, fortunately, as well.
Thankfully.
So I was able to have like a month and a half of salary still left to get me through the winter and allow me to plan how am I going to hit the ground running in the spring. And that's exactly what happened. My wife also had a full-time job. If that wasn't the case, I would have jumped into a boat with a hole in it, and that would have sunk.
That would have been difficult.
Yes, there's some things that were still in place there, so that worked out. Fortunately, everything was aligned, but I still had a plan, and planned crazily and researched online. That's how I stumbled upon the infancy of the community that we're all a part of now on YouTube and Instagram and all that. But that was the plan. I right out the gate had like 30-something weekly mowing clients right that first spring, adding on to like the 5 or 6 I had the part-time. So that's where it all started, and I think that was very successful to do that. And I had to quickly like figure things out. I borrowed some money for a 5x10 open trailer, a walk-behind, belt drive walk-behind mower, things like that. Paid it off the following year, and then just kept going with that, debt-free, just making money, figuring out finances. Read the Profit First Plan by Mike McAllowitz.
Sure.
Started having all these different savings and breaking up all of my deposits. So I could have a winter savings to get me through the winter because we don't have a lot of work if it doesn't snow in Central Virginia where I'm from.
Sure.
All this stuff. So that all went well.
Well, what's the old adage? You guys will probably correct me in the comments. Maybe if you don't fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Yeah.
Or whatever the old one is.
Pretty much that's what it is. Yeah.
I like it. It doesn't mean you have to have this like 19-step small business loan approval-esque business plan, but get some parameters. What does success look like to you? What do you want your business to look like?
Right.
All right. So having a good plan. We got about a minute or two. Rapid fire. What's the one thing, maybe glaring mistake? I don't know if you got one that just kind of springs up in your mind. What's one thing you would have did different right out of the gate that, looking back, was maybe a colossal failure? Because I got a bunch. I know you do too.
Yeah. I mean, I would say honestly, in the midst of all of the craziness of your business plan and going through the flow and pivoting, is you kind of get caught up sometimes in the moment and seeing everyone doing this and that, and maybe I should do it this way, maybe I should do it that way, and you kind of forget about the plan, whatever plans you had.
Okay.
And then you end up like buying the wrong things, or taking on the wrong customers, or hiring the wrong employees. Like you just kind of get caught, and if you don't catch yourself quickly, you spiral out of control. And this last year, 2021, was a culmination of all those things, and then the environment of the world, aka COVID and all this crazy stuff, exploded our industry in a good way. But we couldn't really handle it. There wasn't enough people that were willing to put in some hard work, for a decent salary, and there wasn't, and we couldn't keep up with the demand. I couldn't keep up with the demand. A lot of people couldn't. So it kind of buckled, we like approached the threshold of hell, with like 100 clients with one crew, and it was like, So I had to really take a step back at the end of the year and figure out what changes do I need to make so it doesn't take away from this kind of stuff, so I can kind of increase the social media and content creating, which is what I love. That's what gets me out of bed every night or every morning, keeps me up late at night.
There you go.
That's what I do. But I like mowing lawns. I like lawn care. That's my career, that's my business, but I don't love it like I love content. So it's like making those adjustments so I can do both better.
Well, maybe to summarize, not to put words in your mouth, maybe avoiding distractions or the shiny thing, or maybe comparing yourself to others, that kind of stuff. Let's stick with your original plan.
Right. Not growing too fast, not getting carried away, because you're getting a lot of. Because what happened also, I was getting a lot of the clients I wanted. Yeah. And I've been trying to get for years. I only usually get bits and pieces and get people that I don't want, and I could easily say no. Yeah. But this time I had all these people to say yes that I wanted to say yes to. You know, I still give them a quote and they have to say yes. But I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting all of the right people, but now I can't handle it because I don't have enough people to expand properly to take care of them all.
So like Warren Buffett said, for every 100 opportunities that come across his desk, he says no to 99 out of 100, which is really interesting, you know? So maybe the phone rings 10 times, not saying that we only take one on, but maybe only 2 or 3 out of those 10 are actually a really good fit. Really good stuff. Really good. Where can people find you? Social media, give us some stats.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you just type in Google LCR or Lawn Care Rookie, a lot of things will come up. LCR Media Podcast is my newest jam. Just having a good time with everybody, you guys, creating content, just another avenue. But I mean, there's YouTube and Instagram, Facebook. I just started TikTok just to play around and see how the algorithms, just to help promote other things. I'm not trying to be like B&B, you know, lawn care over here, you know, I'm not trying to be TikTok famous. I just know, I've just heard from some mentors of mine that there's some traction there, there's something to be said about gaining an audience and getting some ROI from that. So I'm just playing around with that and I can see immediately how, you know, you're getting views without being a nobody, you know, first video and you get some views. So I mean, it's a cool platform. So everywhere pretty much Lawn Care Rookie, but LCR Media Podcast specifically, and then all the other Lawn Care Rookie platforms. So.
I love it. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna do part 2 here. Just hang tight. We're gonna do a little quick transition. We're gonna get John Pajak up here for round 2. But Naylor, thanks again for sharing your thoughts. A lot of these guys I know are just getting started. They super appreciate it, and thanks for sharing.
Thank you, man.
All right, guys. All right, guys. Well, just like that, little transition here. We're actually at a hotel right down the road from the Hype House. We actually had to check out of the Hype House, and we had to move on with the day, right? So, actually, I wanted to make sure that we got John on the YouTube video here really quick to give us his best 2 tips. So we just had Naylor on, LCR Media, and now we're joined by John Pajak with Turf Tamer Lawn Care. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great.
Awesome, man. Well, if there's any background noise, we apologize. A little bit loud here at the hotel, but John, here's what we're doing really quick. A lot of guys are getting started with their business. They're, you know, getting that boat as close to the dock as they can. And so a lot of folks are just getting started. And so here's the question we've been asking everybody, which by the way, there'll be a playlist here for all the other interviews with the guests. But what's the one thing you did right out of the gate starting your lawn care business? And what's one thing, looking back on it, that maybe you didn't do the best that you would have kind of changed or did all over again?
Gotcha. First thing, the best thing I did with the business was I made sure that we got paid first, or we had a way to get paid as quick as possible.
Okay.
From my experience, what I had run another company before, I worked for other people, and the common thing there was we were always chasing money. Yeah. So when Turf Tamer started, it was at first it was a prepay only. Okay. So instead of billing at the end of the month, we billed at the beginning of the month for services scheduled, and it was regular maintenance, mowing, and basically at that point, that's what it was. Okay. That morphed into getting credit cards on file. Then, once we got cards on file, we could charge those cards at our discretion. And what we did was we started charging cards every day after each service. Okay. So services were completed. Within that day, those cards would be charged, and we would get, our cash flow was amazing because we didn't have to worry about missing anything, waiting for checks. All of the money was in the grill. It's like, we don't do that anymore. Sure. You know, even with the prepays, it's like, oh, the check's in the mailbox underneath the green frog or whatever, it's done. Yep.
So you did, so did you also do that for weekly mowing, or just like end of month mowing, or did you do a lot of fern and turf treatments?
Well, now we do, yeah. When we originally started, we were just mowing, but we had, like I said, the prepay would be like, okay, let's say it was April and there are 4 weeks in April, so we would have 4 services. The limitation to that was, okay, if we didn't have any extra things pop up, it worked well. But if we had something extra that popped up, you end up having to go back to the client to get approval before you do the work.
Sure.
And say, hey, you know, we need to clean this up, or it took us a lot longer than what we anticipated. We need to charge you for a double cut. And that it was messy, and especially with months where you might have had 5 weeks or 5 services in the month, that's where the limitations for the prepay, it kind of got sticky and messy and took away from our efficiencies on the back end billing side.
Yeah, we owe you a week, we owe you a week.
Right.
Okay.
So now, like I said, once we implemented credit cards on file, we always took cash, check, and credit card, but now, with our system, and this is what we've done for the past 4 years, I think, is everybody has a card on file, everything gets charged out, and if there's something that is, you know, a little extra, we get the client's permission, and then we could just charge the card right then and there for whatever additional might be. So it's super easy. Our clients love it because it's not like, oh, I gotta write this check out to this guy and all this. We're providing the value and the service, and they're more than willing to say, oh, you need this, we need this extra thing done? Yeah, go ahead and do it, that sounds good. We establish trust, and we just get paid, and our cash flow is great because by the end of the week,
right,
we just filter everything through, put it in our accounts, and we're done.
I like it. All right, so we talked a lot on this channel about having charge cards on file. John did it right out of the gate. I think that's a really good thing if you guys can do that with your lawn and landscape company. It will change your cash flow like nobody's business. All right, so that's one thing we did right. Looking back on it, taking it all the way back to the beginning, what's one thing you would have done differently? Maybe a glaring mistake or failure?
Yeah.
No right or wrong answer. 2 minutes or less. Shoot.
I would probably limit the amount of services you offer.
Oh, okay.
Get better at one thing, find out where the target market for that is, and just stick to it. When you have to switch between, let's just say it's mowing and bush trimming and all these other things, just whatever you might think of. We were offering almost 10 services at one point in time. It got very complicated because of scheduling and everything else, and we didn't have quite the manpower to cover everything. So stick to one thing, get really good at it, get that thing self-automated, and then move on to expanding. So over time, we went from all this stuff and funneled it down to basically where we're at now, where it's just fertilization, weed control services, we do our applications. There's still a ton of stuff that you could do with that business. So, but just staying in that pool, like if you're starting out, just try to stick to one thing until you can take on, when you could grow and take on more.
I like that. One thing I'll add too, like let's say you like mulching, but you might not want to do residential mulch. You might only do commercial mulching, right? So it doesn't have to be a different service that you eliminate. In my opinion, it could always be just maybe where you offer that, service. Maybe just to residential or commercial clients. Maybe you do snow plowing, and you don't want to do any more residential snow plowing.
Right.
So you're still kind of eliminating or trimming, still doing another service, but maybe just cutting out a type of clientele that you don't like for a variety of reasons, right? And we all know they all have their pros and cons.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, hey, really quick, John, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at johnpajakfinancial.com, johnpajakfinancialcoaching.com on the website and on Facebook, john.pajak on Instagram. Find me.
There you go. Well, guys, John is a really good friend, and I love the content that he puts out. He is extremely passionate. He talks a lot about numbers. If you guys ever looking to get your ducks in a row behind the scenes and get your financials in order, this is the guy for you. He's kind of like one of the more best kept secrets of the lawn care community, if you will. And I really love all the content he puts out. Really good guy. All right, so guys, that's what we got here on this quick video. We appreciate you joining on. If you guys liked this video, we got a whole playlist that we're doing here. If the card's up here or over there, wherever those end screens are, we'll leave that playlist here for you. Check out the other great interviews that we did with some of the other guests from the Green Industry Hype House. Big shout out to the Hardscape Academy and LAWNTREPRENEUR Academy for sponsoring the 2022 Green Industry Hype House. Hope you guys enjoyed those resources. And if you want to check them out, visit those websites. We'll leave them in the description down below. All right, over now, guys. We'll catch up with you here on the next one.